Co-main event. Brandon Moreno, Deiveson Figueiredo.
Man, I've watched his last fight, him getting the belt, and I cry like every single time.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Oh my God. Just the feeling he gets. When he says like, go Mexico. Like, I've seen it so many times, but it still makes me want to cry.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wonder if he cried when he got the Lego version of the belt. I would have cried. I'd have been like, yeah, fucking UFC belt. And, a Lego belt? Oh my God. It is fucking... I love his Lego obsession because then it makes me feel a bit less weird. And you're obsessed with Lego now anyway. What's your first take on it? Because they're draw and their Moreno wins.
One thing I will say about Brandon is that he's been doing, I think it's like commentary in Spanish.
Yep.
And he's been analyzing a lot of fights and he's been looking at a lot of different fighters. He's been helping. Well, he's like the captain of the gym, which means that he's mentally always thinking about fights, always looking at different fights, always looking at different openings and opportunities and different moves, and is always like on top of what's coming out and what's new. Like, for example, the calf kick is an example of something that's like new, but the application of it was a little bit after something that he would have seen immediately and been able to practice. Which that's a part that I find really interesting. Just like Juliana Pena, because she was doing a lot of commentary and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And then
it makes you watch a lot more fights, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
So then, as a counter to that, then what about Deiveson Figueiredo training with Henry Cejudo?
But that's the thing. If somebody else is doing the research for you, do you really, under high pressure situations, capture as much mentally as you would need to? I guess it depends on the fighter.
So something that I talk about it a bit in the War Room. Something I noticed in the first Brandon Moreno fight, Deiveson Figueiredo was quite happy to foul him over and over again. Like he was like poking him in the eyes, and I think there was a groin strike in there that was pretty bad. Like, to me, it felt like Deiveson Figueiredo came in there to hurt Brandon Moreno. And in the second fight, it didn't quite feel like that. And then once the fight was over and Moreno had won the belt, Figueiredo almost seemed happy for him. And I don't know whether that changes again now he's lost his belt to him and he goes back in there and he's like, right, I'm going to fuck this dude up. And that version of Figueiredo is terrifying. And that shape that he was in that photo you showed me, was it yesterday? Like, I think, I mean, you got to think what kind of work he would be getting with Cejudo. Even if it's not focused on Brandon Moreno. Even if he just went to Cejudo just to train, he's still going to get much, much better. Cejudo's a very, very good all-round mixed martial artist. And I think that the issue that he was having with Brandon Moreno, especially in the second fight, was the speed of his jab. So in the first fight, he came out hard. Like, he started the first fight really, really quickly. And Moreno was able to hang on and then start establishing his jab. In the second round, he didn't come out in the second fight, he didn't come out nearly as fast. And Moreno was able to start establishing his jab early. Now, Cejudo's got a good jab. He's got good wrestling. Like, Cejudo could potentially be a good alternative, a good version of Brandon Moreno, a better version of Brandon Moreno than Moreno. Like, does Cejudo come in and beat Moreno if they fought? Probably.
I don't think he can make weight, though.
Well, but I mean, technically, like, I think Cejudo's a better all-round mixed martial artist. I think Moreno's really good at some things. I think he's a very good wrestler. That lovely rear naked choke he's got, good neck attacks. But it's his jab that set him apart in that second fight. And I think Cejudo is equally as talented. So I just think generally Figueiredo is going to be in a better place in this fight.
Yeah. Did you see the countdown show where it was saying that Figueiredo had just opened up a new gym and he was he said he was just exhausted from trying to find the training partners, trying to set up the gym, bring in the employees. That's
no good.
Yeah, you just don't want to be in that situation for when you're rematching a draw.
Mm. And like Figueiredo's not even booking his own haircuts now, is he? He's sitting next to Cejudo and getting his barber to do it while they're watching fights. I don't know. I honestly, I mean, I'm a big fan of both of them, just generally as mixed martial artists. I like Brandon Moreno personally. I like the fact that he's a humble kid. He loves Lego. He's a bit of a nerd. I just have a feeling that Figueiredo is just going to come in and fucking put it on him this time around. I don't think he's going to give him the respect that he did in the second fight. The space, I think he looks physically more imposing this time around. I think his weight cut's going to be better this time around, which was a factor in the last one. And then the fucking division's stuck again, because then we have to have a rematch with these two guys. Because now we've got a draw, and then Moreno wins, and then Figueiredo wins. Now we have to have a fourth match to figure out who belongs to who has the belt. But then I will say, if Figueiredo loses, I think he moves up a weight class.
Yeah, well, I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to. Like those guys that Henry Cejudo trains with, like the physical performance guys. They seem to be absolute experts at taking off body fat.
Yeah.
They like everybody that goes in there gets super shredded, but I don't think that's necessarily like Brandon Moreno's never been particularly shredded.
No.
He's never looked particularly like physically impressive. That doesn't necessarily always tell me.
Especially not when he's standing outside the Lego store with two big bags.
The only thing that worries me with Brandon is the amount of media he's done.
Yeah.
The amount of, you have to do this interview and that. And if you think he also works with the UFC and he's also doing this other job, and I'm sure he's just taken his break and focused on his fight because this is obviously more important. But there's still a lot of people telling you you're great. And then even if in your mind you tell yourself, nah, don't, that's like a venom that comes in your body and you don't realize, and it's just taking over you.
Yeah, that does concern me. I was pulling for Moreno, but I do think Figueiredo is going to do it this time around. I think he's going to take the belt back. That's my pick. Yeah? No?
I go for Moreno.
Oh, just to fucking disagree with me.
No, it's just
as always.
Yeah. How can you not?
Yeah, that's it.
How can you not like the
You were
kid?
saying that earlier, weren't you? Sometimes you wish you'd picked more for the person that you want to win rather than the person you think's going to win. That's fine. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes. I just think that Figueiredo looks like a beast this time around.
Yeah, he does look pretty scary.